All right.
All right, guys. So thank you for tuning in. I know that you guys are really busy and you guys have a lot of work to do in the middle of the week, but we're happy to have you. And we're going to be talking about Instagram marketing because right now it's really the hottest platform that you could leverage for your business. And we're going to kind of go dig deep into some of these tactics that you could use to build growth, whether it's following or getting some sort of conversions on your site. We'll break it down in this entire presentation. Some of you might know us, some of you may not. We're both South Florida natives in the sense that we have our agencies down here. We've worked on both local and national clients. And we focus on digital marketing, but we have other areas of expertise, specifically with social media, with e-commerce, and a few other areas. And we're just excited to provide, our second webinar. And this one, we really dug deep and provided a lot of small details that you could go in and start using. And they're really practical. And we're not just going to be here giving you these overarching like fluff, ideas for you to use. So I don't know if John, you have anything to add to that?
No, I just thank you guys for joining our second webinar. We're really excited to provide some value and actionable things that you can do with Instagram. So we're not going to give you any fluff. We're just going to give you a basic breakdown of the platform, which you most likely understand already. And then we're going to deep dive into some really actionable tactics that you'll be able to use. So just to recap and go over our agenda, we're going to talk about Instagram's current landscape, a lot of the changes that are going on right now in the platform. We're also going to show you new features and how to leverage them and how we built pages that we manage also. And then we're going to show you case studies and examples of pages that we manage or pages that we've seen that perform really well. And then we're going to open it up for a Q&A session to answer any and all questions that you guys have. So just to start off with a few statistics, we want to break down a few things before we get started. Instagram has doubled its monthly active user base in just 2 years. So what does that mean? That means Instagram has really leveraged the platform to build a solid foundation for a lot of people to come in and post content and distribute content. And then 80% of Instagram users actually come from outside of the US. So David and I were talking earlier, and he was telling me that it's only about 88 million people in the US use Instagram. We thought it'd be more, but there's a ton of international people using the platform and really leveraging it in an awesome way.
And I think a big thing to add to that, it's like China's not even part of that pot right now. It's really the other big players include Russia, Brazil, UK. It's actually banned in China, but when that market opens up, that's a whole new area of opportunity for businesses to kind of leverage.
Exactly. And so 75% of people say that they take action after seeing a post. And taking action can mean visiting a website, searching, or telling a friend about that content. So that means that with just an image, you're able to leverage that and be able to drive people to engage on your content. So Instagram engagement is down, but still higher than Facebook and Twitter. And David's actually going to explain why that's kind of lowered in a way.
Yeah. I mean, kind of give a recap of everything. Like we give you all the stats for a reason. To sum it up, Instagram is growing, but it's going to get more and more competitive, more brands, more people are joining on it. And you're going to have to compete for that time on, on the feed. And it's still a great platform to use, whether you want to tell a story or you want to drive someone to do some sort of action. And it's a social network with global appeal. Like we said, you can reach people in Russia and in Canada and in the UK and Brazil. There's a lot of areas that have it, and they're really going strong on it. And so I know that we said advanced tactics at the beginning. We wanted to lay the foundation of simple things that should be covered in the sense before we get started, because without these things, it's kind of tough to drive results when you don't have things like a consistent visual theme or something that people can understand your brand as part of that profile. Having a detailed and engaging bio, something that they could understand who you are, what you do, and what you provide. Having high-res visual content, whether it's video or photo, making sure it's not low-res and low quality, because sometimes it might be actually penalized if you're going to promote that content, because Instagram doesn't want to show crappy content. They want to show really good visuals because it's their platform, it's their name. And then really, we've heard this phrase over and over, quality over quantity. If you have an amazing feed that provides value and has visually engaging content, it's going to be hard for people to argue that just post a bunch of content, even though it's half-assed. You want to make sure that your stuff is good, so that when people go through it, it's an album. People can go through this and see what you have to provide. And last but not least, leverage the link in bio. This is the one outlet for people to escape Instagram to your website, to whatever landing page you want. Be sure to utilize that. And then another simple thing is showcasing the difference between a business page and a personal page. Each of them have their pros and cons. We're just going to focus on the pros here. If you go business, you'll be able to access analytics. You'll be able to do ads, and you can actually have a search increase for your business. So the other side is on personal, you'll get more reach, and it's a little bit more organic. Being labeled as a business might lead to a little bit of a factor when it comes to the algorithm, like where you come out, because they know you're a business and you're promoting either a service or some sort of product. So that's just like the difference between the two profiles, and some people are kind of deciding whether to go one way or the other.
Exactly. And so Instagram's introduced quite a few new features, right? So we're just going to briefly break these down before we really get granular into what we're going to provide today. So number one, the new algorithm. Facebook went through a similar change. Of course, they absorbed Instagram, and they're kind of pushing a lot of their different attributes into the platform. But the new algorithm just means that instead of having the content chronological, it's now based on affinity. So that means that people that you engage with more, their content's going to come up more in their feed. And even though they're posting chronologically, their images might not come in that way on your live feed. The second piece is, of course, Instagram stories. That's Mark Zuckerberg's revenge on the Snapchat founder. So he's initiated these stories elements on Instagram to make it easy to see live content. And then we also have Instagram ads, which we'll break down a little bit more later in regards to ads that you can post on Instagram using the Facebook ad platform. And then, of course, we have the new albums feature. A lot of times you might have seen it, and we'll show you actually a live environment on the phone of images that can actually slide left and right organically on Instagram. So you might have a friend that posts 5 images from an event that you can scroll through and see multiple images without scrolling down, but left to right.
Yeah.
And then next, you want to break this down?
Yeah, I mean, the save feature is another little small thing that they added on. We'll dive into like what that means and how to use it. And then obviously Instagram Live, which we're doing now. And we'll talk about actually one of the latest updates with Instagram Live. So actually to just give you a statement directly from Instagram, when they release a new algorithm, this is quote unquote, they said it's based on the likelihood you'll be interested in the content, your relationship with the person posting, and the timeliness. Other things that they take into consideration is people who you direct message, people whose content you like and comment on, all that kind of stuff. And also people you know in real life. And what they consider real life is if they see that you're tagged in various photos with this person at the same time, same location, they have a lot of data points that they can kind of assume that you guys were in the same place, so you know each other in person. So all these factors play into how the algorithm flows and what you see on your feed. So what does it really mean? It means that it's the death of chronological order. You're not going to see things as they come in. If you were thinking of posting 3 photos at a time and seeing it all come down on the feed, it's going to be broken up because Instagram now has to divvy up what kinds of content and where does it come out. You have to rethink what time is the best time to post, because posting it at 5 o'clock on the dot may not mean that they see it right at 5. They might see it at 5:30. They might see it at later on because of this new algorithm. And the other aspect is organic reach will probably decline because now there's different ranking factors. They got to weigh how much you get exposed based on who likes your content and all those other factors that we were talking about. So to go in, I don't know if you want to cover this one, you wanted me to go into, but Instagram Stories is the most powerful one that they have right now. And it's a series of photos or videos, and after 24 hours are gone, but it showcases another element of your Instagram profile that others might not have seen it, with photos or videos. And what we wanted to show you here was not just what it is, but how you can leverage it. Mm-hmm. So in this case, you can also tag people, whether it's a customer that already visited, or you have a contest and you want to tag the winner, or maybe there's another company in the area that you want to partner up with. if you tag them, they'll see this in their feed. They'll be able to realize that you're talking about them, that you're engaging with them, and it's just another way to reach out to people and show, and also build a community, because now you're giving them a little bit of exposure in return for like engaging with them. The other things you can do is maybe tease an upcoming product release or a new event that you're going to be hosting. So this stuff is good behind the scenes. It's showing things that maybe your users that aren't as active might see, but your hardcore users, the ones that are there, they're going to be able to see this and be like, wow, okay, they're giving me insight. They're showing me another layer that I otherwise was not seeing. And then the last thing, you can do location tags that you can physically tag and people can pop up on the map and see where it is. So if you want them to go to this location, maybe you're a vendor and you're going to a different location, you're a food truck, you're a blogger, tagging those locations so they know where to go and not just tagging a name of a place. It's a little bit more powerful than what it used to be. And then I'll cover Instagram Live, and then John will jump in for the next one. So as we're doing now on Instagram Live, this is the kind of stuff that you can use to provide maybe a little bit more exclusive content, something that people otherwise would not see as well. And the good thing is that now you can save it at the end of every live. They just released this a couple of days ago.
Yeah, I saw that.
You could save the video and use it later. Now, it doesn't exist on Instagram unless you repost it, but at least that content, you could save it aside and do whatever you want with it. Maybe chop it up, maybe get pieces of it and make a bigger video. But now that's like the latest feature. And then you can do Q&A sessions. Since it's face-to-face and people are commenting and engaging live, you can answer questions in real time, which is really powerful. It's you can't do that on a post. There's that lag between commenting back and forth.
Exactly. And so Instagram albums is another option that was released where you can share multiple photos and videos, up to 10 in a single post. So if you're trying to tell a story or if you're trying to convey a certain message, now you have a multiple swipe feature where you can swipe left to right to tell that story in a really conducive way. So some ways to leverage it would be to use event recaps and tag attendees. You could also create panoramic visuals that really have a cool effect once you're swiping.
Yeah, like where you showcase the different, as it goes.
Exactly. And then anyone can create that pretty easily using Photoshop or any other similar program. And then, of course, cliffhanger sequence where you give someone a little bit and then they're forced to scroll through your images to see the rest of the content. We see a lot of large-scale influencers making their videos longer now because instead of 60 seconds, now they can push it to a minute and 20 by leveraging this tool. So it's a really cool way and a really new dynamic for Instagram to use. Also, they recently featured, it's the save feature is what it's called, and it stores your content so you can view it at a later time. It's also possible that this could be a rank factor. So if people are saving a specific image a lot, that's going to tell Instagram that, hey, this is an image that a lot of people want to see. Let's go ahead and push it to more so they can get more engagement and increase that scope. So the way to leverage this would be to create save-worthy content, high-res images like we discussed before, really great images, and then encourage usage with calls to action so that people can either share it, comment, and increase that scope of engagement.
Yeah, and to add to that, it's a powerful tool because it shows you, if you have a business page, as we show in this example, it's going to show you how many people saved it. And the powerful thing about that is that someone thought that your content was so good that they're willing to save it aside and return to it later. They're willing to break away from the feed and set it aside so that they could, view it at their own discretion whenever they have the time to, and even share it with friends. So definitely it's going to be a ranking factor, because if someone does that, they find value in that piece of content, and Instagram is going to want to promote that kind of content.
Absolutely. And then, so we want to break down the Instagram ads. There's 3 different objectives, and then we're going to get into the live screen share. So essentially awareness, and this is similar to Facebook's ad platform. Awareness is strictly to drive awareness of your business, product, app, or service. So that just includes reach, reaching people to provide a message, a general message to drive engagement. So likes, comments, follows on your page, and then reach and frequency, and then brand awareness and local awareness. So this is just really awareness about your brand to get people understanding what you do, what you provide, and get them to cause an action. And action will be engaging with your content.
Yeah.
Next up, it would be consideration. So have potential customers learn more about your products or services. This is mostly to take people away from the platform to do website clicks, so clicks to your website so you can convert them, and then video views to increase the scope and engagement on your videos, and then like awareness, reach, and frequency. And then my favorite, actually both of our favorites, is conversion. So that's driving people to a specific website page to purchase a product, add to cart. These ads perform really well, especially once you have that data, that pixel data to pull from. And then this can also include mobile app installs and mobile app engagement. Do you have anything to add on that one, Dave?
No, I mean, these are just, it's good because it gets people in the frame of mind to understand how to promote online. It's not just posting pretty pictures and getting, just getting your name out there. Like, these are the different levels of your funnel. You want, there's the awareness level, then there's consideration, and then there's conversion. And you need to think about your brand in that manner, not just about let's post a bunch of stuff every day and hope that, people come through the door or purchase online. By looking at this stuff, at least even if you don't use the Instagram ads, you can start approaching your content from this perspective, and that's huge.
Exactly. So you want to break this down?
Yeah, for sure. Instagram ads. So right now, these are some of the ones that they have available. And there's photos, there's videos, and there's carousel. Obviously, photo is just a static one, and each one has a link, outbound link to your website. I don't know if that link, I think, exists on Instagram, but it shows your exact page. So they don't physically leave Instagram, but they show how your page looks on a browser within the app. And if you think that you have photos that are powerful enough to be promoted and are going to call some sort of action, then use that. But if you have video is really powerful, and you can you have different formats, whether it's square, it's portrait, or it's wide. You can use that to showcase and storytell in a different manner than photos might. And then maybe you want to do an in between like carousel. So the carousel can show multiple photos, and you'll be able to promote that. And it also can show video as well. So I think that's a good way to mix up the two. If you feel like that's powerful and something that you think your brand can leverage. And the big thing is really figuring out which of these are the most effective for you. And you might have to A/B test that, running different campaigns of the same kind of thing, but in different formats to see which one performs best. So now we're going to get into a little bit of the nitty-gritty, which is the engagement tactics. And when it comes to Instagram, is one of the most powerful engagement platforms right now. The big thing is that you need to know how to use this properly, because it could very easily come off as spammy if you don't use this the right way. You've seen plenty of people who like all your stuff and then comment with generic stuff and then follow and unfollow you. Those are the tools they have available, but if you leverage it the right way, you can do this in a tasteful way and engage with the proper audience. So we're going to break it down a little bit more by showing you an example of what it would look like.
Okay, so let me bring that up really quick. Hold on one second, guys. All right, let's make sure everybody's okay. Okay, everybody can hear us. Love Instagram, mine's auto comment. What's up? Hey guys, just want to say hi. We had it on the other screen, so we didn't see a lot of your comments. Thank you all for attending. I'm gonna bring up this Instagram and show you our specific tactics. So this is for an Instagram page we manage. It's a travel brand. And I want to show you guys the exact tactics we use to really blow out Instagram without coming off spammy, right? So number one, we don't do any tags. And just to show you guys a basic understanding, so Instagram, we probably didn't break it down, but Instagram is a platform. It's essentially a bot that performs certain actions for you or on your behalf on Instagram. So essentially you set it up, and it goes out and does all this automated for you. Now, there are ways to use this that are super spammy, that just spam everybody in the world, that doesn't engage users. So we figured out a way to really engage people that are interested in our content in a really intriguing way. So number one, we don't do any tags. So if people use specific tags, we don't go after those individuals. Let me scroll down a little bit. We actually go after people, other pages, followers. So for example, we're a travel brand. So what we do is we go after followers of other travel brands. So essentially all we do is we like and we leave a pretty general comment, like awesome sauce, nothing like travel, awesome pick. So we make sure that one, these people are in the travel niche. All these people are individuals that follow travel pages. So we know that they have an affinity towards it. We also make sure that we blacklist certain users so that we don't unfollow them. So a lot of our influencers, our Instagram influencers, we keep, so that way we're not deleting them when we're using these strategies. So essentially, the way we set it up is use usernames. So we target usernames, and we'll update this every week, adding in new individuals. Tags are here, but we're not using that. And then we'll comment, and then we'll follow, but at a low rate. So essentially, we use Instagram just to engage with users of other pages that are really engaging and really blowing up, and that slowly drip in a slow drip campaign. So let me show you guys the page. This is actually the live feed. Hold on one sec, guys. We actually have our iPad here. We're going to show you. Let's see if we have any questions, any concerns. Chat. Okay. We got a few things. Just some sweat. All right. Julian said, can we slow down, please? No problem, Julian. Sorry, I talk fast. I'll slow it down a bit. Okay, so, sorry.
And we'll, so Elliot, I see that you're asking. We're going to have the Q&A session at the end. So all this stuff, we'll just, any questions you might have, we'll address it at the very end.
Exactly. And we'll address any and all questions that you guys have. So an example would be, this is the page, the Instagram page. So just to have it laid out for you guys so you can see the type of content, we have a fleshed out bio. So we make sure the bio is fleshed out with content. We also have an image, a link here that is actually tagged for Google. So we know when we're getting searches from Instagram. And then all of our images have kind of a consistent look and feel, right? So essentially, all we do is we go after these pages and we engage with their content. So, whoops, I think I switched.
Yeah, that was
got it. Whoops, sorry. Yeah, so we engage with those users. So let me recap Instagram one more time so you guys fully understand, because I know I said it pretty fast last time. So the activity we do is likes, comments, follows and unfollows periodically to run that. And likes is just going in and liking other people's content. And we make sure that like users that follow these pages.
I mean, with Instagram alone, you could really have a whole presentation on just this, because there's a lot of other features that we're not even going into because of how technical it could be. People who have a minimum amount of followers, people who content that's only been posted in the last 3 days, like 5 years old. You can even break it down by a follow-unfollow pattern, where after you follow 500, it stops following, and then it could start unfollowing people who didn't follow you back or whatever you set it to. So there's just a lot of features. It really takes you guys to, I think you have a 3 day
I think
trial.
You get 4 days to try it out. Yeah, you get 4 days to test it out. So for a lot of clients, we'll just run likes and comments and not follows and unfollows. That way they're still engaging with people, but they're not following and unfollowing those individuals.
Yeah.
And the engagement is really high when you do it this way by using the usernames, because you're going after people that are specific to your niche. So just a few extra tips on that. Make sure you create a blacklist. A blacklist essentially will make sure that you're not deleting the followers that you want to keep following. So if you have 250 followers that you like, that you don't want to unfollow, you want to make sure you add in your blacklist. Don't use tags. Usually go for users who follow specific pages. Comments are an option. We'll sometimes turn on comments to engage, but like is probably the number one. And then you can follow our, sorry about that.
Right there.
Technical difficulties. So follow our users who follow strategy to really see some high engagement with Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, and then there's obviously the other option of going after influencers and brand ambassadors and people who are going to be representing your brand in some way. So they can be a huge asset for, let's say, a company that might not want to spend a lot of time creating a bunch of content, or they want to add this on to an existing content strategy. Because instead of you promoting yourself all the time, now you're getting an outside source to vouch for you. And a lot of these people amass, huge followings, and they have people that are engaged. You just have to make sure that you look into their engagement on their platform and make sure it's not all spammy. There's been plenty of times where we've been contacted by, prospective influencers that they're like, oh, we'll promote on we'll promote your page for X amount of dollars. And then you go on their page and they have 60K followers, but like 90 likes. So there's not, there isn't that yeah, it's a disconnect. The ratio doesn't match up. So you need to do a little bit of research. We mentioned here doing something like maybe hiring a virtual assistant or having someone on your staff to collect, make it a sheet of all the prospective influencers you want. There's some tools that you can use to find these influencers and collect it so you can look at it. And then you can automate the outreach process by, a template email or some sort of process that you create to make sure that you reach them, whether it's email, Instagram direct message, or any other format. And John actually has a really good example here of some of the, one of his clients.
Exactly. So this is a brand we work with. Sorry, forgot your password. This is a client that we worked with. They already had a pretty big following. So they had about 500,000 followers already when we connected with them. And basically, we helped them build out the platform for their website to drive traffic to. So they had already had an Instagram page that had a ton of engagement. I'm going to show you guys their page live. This is their page. As you can see, as we explained, consistent content, nice call to action, and they're also verified as well. So essentially what we did with them was we built out the website and we slowly dripped products or specific products to this luxury market.
Well, I mean, the crazy thing, just sorry to jump in, is that this was built on Instagram first and then the website came later. So it's not like it was a website that onboarded to Instagram. It's the other way around. So the brand began on Instagram and it built up from the ground up on Instagram. So, it's just proof that if you put in a lot of effort and you create an entire community and good content and all these kinds of things, that you can build something that provides you with, whatever amount of money that you want to create, because the opportunity is there if you reach the right market and you niche properly. This is just one real good example of it.
Exactly. And just to give you guys the results, they grew from 500,000 to about 1.4 million followers currently. Their Instagram account's verified because once you reach a certain point on Instagram, you'll see a lot of other individuals trying to replicate what you're doing. So making little derivatives or different pages. So Instagram will verify you based on your engagement. And then they do an average 50K views per month on certain content. And then they've had partnerships with top luxury brands. So companies like Hublot, Porsche, Tesla, they actually reach out to the Good Life Inc. for features. So it's really, really good stuff. And that's all from just posting photos and basically reposting and tagging other individuals. So it's a really, really great tool that you can leverage. It just comes down to consistency. Next up, we wanted to show you another small case study with Love Travel. Basically, Instagram gets about 2,500 to 3,000 sales a month just from Instagram.
Yep.
And the order count was about 56 last month. And you can see that we've reached over 100,000 in a few months. Consistent brand influence is also really large, because now we can leverage our influencers, we can leverage our page engagement, and we can also use Instagram stories. So now our stories reach between 400 and 500 people just because we have a highly engaged Instagram page.
Yeah. And to add to that too, I mean, you're showing some of these numbers from Shopify, right?
Yeah.
So if you guys have an e-commerce store or you guys have a Shopify site specifically, their integration with Facebook and Instagram is pretty amazing, and they'll show you like where the traffic is from. And if you have a Facebook pixel, it'll show you if the traffic converted into a sale directly from, it could even be someone who visited you on Facebook, then went to your site, left, came back. It'll show you every step of the way, and then up to the final point of purchasing. So it's powerful to see that, and also open up, like, on average, what would you say would be the amount of touch points before they actually buy it? So do you just see it on Facebook and buy it, or do they go?
No, sometimes it can be 3 or 4. So they'll visit the site, they'll leave, then we retarget them on Facebook, then we might retarget them on Instagram. So it could be like 3 to 4 touch points.
Yeah, but I just want people to understand that it's not this idea of posting something on Instagram and they're going to click a button and they're going to buy. Like, how many times do you do that? So you have to think of it from a personal perspective. There's the discovery phase. There's like, you're trying to figure out what this product is, a little bit more about the company before you feel comfortable buying from them. You might show it to some friends for like approval, and then you buy. So you need to have a strategy behind this. Like maybe hit them with something, a retargeting ad or something else to like remind them. So it's not a matter of one-click purchase. There's various levels to the process, the journey to purchase. So keep that in mind when you're doing all this. And I think, there was a lot of stuff that we covered, and this summary doesn't really do it full justice, but to give you, if you want to take anything away, leverage the new features that Instagram is bringing out. They're going to probably continue to bring out more and more features. And they have powerful tactics within each feature that you could use to make sure that your profile grows in following. You can drive traffic to your website and ultimately, bring up sales. Creating a paid media strategy is strong, and it's very highly recommended. Probably now better than later, because I think it's only going to get more expensive.
Absolutely.
And like I said, organic reach is going to go down as more businesses onboard and you get more competitive. So having a paid media strategy is important, so that you can cut through that clutter and make sure you're in front of the right people. And then last but not least, there's plenty of tools and resources like Instagram. And actually, we're going to be providing an entire list of some tools that we use and recommend. We'll give you a link to our Facebook group that we're going to be creating, and we're going to be providing all this like exclusive side content that we won't provide here on that Facebook group. But yeah, it's pretty much the recap of it. And if you also moving forward for future webinars, we're probably going to do the next one on e-commerce, but we're probably going to touch on analytics and website optimization in the upcoming ones. But the most important thing is we want to hear from you and what you think. So we have a quick survey. We're going to actually put it in the chat now. So whenever you guys have a chance, it's literally 5 questions. We just want to know if we did a decent job and what you want to know more of, how we can improve. So that way we can get your feedback and improve over time. So we're going to drop it in now. And actually, we're going to open it up to Q&A right now, too. So whoever wants to go ahead and answer first. I know that, Elliot had a couple questions, and I see a couple you are asking. So right after we drop in this link, we'll just, Yulia, we are recording this. So we actually put up the first webinar on the website, and it's up there. We're going to try and do this one pretty fast as well.
Oh, we already got a few questions in there. Okay, yeah. So let's go back to the top, make sure we get everybody. Can everybody still hear us clearly? Just type a 1 if you can hear us clearly. Awesome. Okay, so first question, Elliot Hoffman, my boy. What % of Instagram is bots or spam accounts? That's a good question, man. I know a while ago it was pretty high, man. It was about 20 to 30%.
Yeah,
bots.
I mean, it's kind of like Instagram that whenever automation comes into play, there's going to be a bunch of bots, but Facebook and Instagram are going to, crack down on that. There was that whole purge, remember?
Oh, yeah.
When everyone had they just lost
that was crazy.
A ton of followers overnight.
Like Mace. Mace had 1 million followers, the rapper Mace, and he dropped to 20,000? And everybody was just, it was crazy. That was crazy.
But yeah, I can't tell you the exact percentage, but there's a good amount there that you just have to keep an eye out for. Obviously, if they're just spamming your account, not providing value, then you can figure out it's a spam account. Evan, I know you asked how we find changes to the algorithm. I've mostly gotten it from sources like Buffer, that they've posted statements, or you can get it directly from maybe the press section of Instagram or their blog. Like the one about the factors that go into the algorithm. It's kind of vague still, but it's as simple as if you engage with someone, or you're in constant communication, whether that's liking, commenting, direct messaging, saving their content, or sharing it with friends, that kind of stuff plays into it. That's an engagement, and that's a point that Instagram is going to value in them ranking you higher or lower.
Yeah, and Evan, you can also set up a Google notification for specific keywords. So maybe Instagram algorithm, IG algorithm, just set those up to automate the process, so that way you can just get those pretty sorry.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Let me see, where were we? Sorry guys, hold on 1 sec. We're just going through the questions. Okay, that was Evan.
Oops. Yeah, go down.
Yeah.
You got Instagram being down.
Okay, here we go. Elliot, if Instagram engagement is down and it seems pretty likely that engagement automation is increasing, how banged up is their platform really?
Okay, so if engagement's down, I mean, the engagement is partially down because there's more people onboarding. So the competition level is higher. So just think about, maybe you were following at the beginning 500 people and now you're following 1,000 people. Are you really going to see all their posts on your feed and be able to like every single one? Before, since you were being given less, you had more time to engage with this kind of stuff. But now that you're flooded with this content, naturally you're not going to sit there and like every single photo, every single comment on it. So engagement partially has to do with the fact that there's more users and more competition, not necessarily that the bots are kind of killing the algorithm.
Okay, Pascal said, where do you get photographs for the Love Travel feed? It depends. We reshare other users' content and make sure we always tag them in their content. You never want to reuse people's content without giving them attribution. And then the second option is a website David actually told me about called thestocks.im, where you can get free, royalty-free, no attribution images that you can use for free that are like super high res.
Yeah.
So that answers your question, Pascal.
And those resources, like I said, we're going to put it in the Facebook group that we just created. And exactly. We have an entire document with, automation tools, creative tools that you can use to create content, photos, videos, and some other tools like that you can curate content and get resources to use for your.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Pedro, how much does it cost to have Instagram monthly? Julian posted the link, and it's about $10.
Yeah.
I think it's $10 for 30 days.
Yeah. And sometimes they have sales like 10% off, or like over a weekend or a special weekend, they might have like 20 or 30% off. So it's good. And honestly, you get 3 or 4 days for free. It's worth trying out to see what it's worth.
Pascal said, what are those tools to find your influencers? So what we do is we have a virtual assistant who actually goes out and reaches out to these Instagram users. So essentially, we give them a guideline, right? So we want their username on Instagram. We want how many followers they have, their average engagement, and then their email address. So the virtual assistant goes in and collects that data, maybe 150 people. And then we create an automated email system where we reach out to those individuals with an incentive, which can either be product that we give them or monetary based on what they can provide for us.
Yeah.
This is a question from Pedro.
So any idea how someone would go about becoming verified? Yeah.
It is harder, yeah.
It's hard. I mean, I really don't know the process. I've never tried doing it for my personal account or any client, just because
Instagram usually reaches out to you for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, and that, I mean, it kind of makes sense. They're kind of controlling it because they don't want everyone to be verified. So you're really just doing a little bit of research to see if there's any way to kind of suggest or recommend it.
Oh, yeah. See, Olivia said perfect. It just typically happens when your account is more likely to have fraud by other duplicate accounts. And that's exactly what we talked about with the Good Life. That's why they're verified, because there were other accounts trying to replicate what they were doing.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yulia, are you guys recording these? Yes, this will be live on the site for you to check out, so you can look at it, view it, take notes, and all that good stuff.
Yep. I think we have more on the bottom.
Okay, thanks, guys. Perry, you're very welcome. Julia, you're welcome. Okay, we got some ones. All right, we got some more questions here. All right, Natalie.
When Instagram says shut off engagements draw very quickly and looks really bad. I get it. Yeah, I mean, Natalie, for sure, it plays into it, but you also need to, show them the importance of having a tool like that, or, advise them beforehand that if you do this, there will be, consequences to you shutting it off. So, that way it's not a blame on you that, you're doing a bad job. It's just that because of budget reasons or because they decided to, they want to shut it off. So, yeah, I mean, all these things are kind of case by case, and Instagram, right now they have a really good system. They can stop it from being flagged as a spam account, because you can set it to slow, medium, or fast.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's all a matter of the tools are there. If you misuse them, you will be flagged and you will become a spam account. But they also advise against that in some of their like tool tips and little recommendations that they give you along the way.
Yeah, and Natalie, just to add on to that, so when you're telling clients about Instagram or telling them about your services, you could just say that essentially it's doing the job that we would do, just on a larger scale. So just imagine if you had 5 to 10 people that were liking and engaging with users on your behalf. I recommend likes as the best one, because if you're liking an image, they're most likely check out your profile. The growth is a little bit slower, but it won't give you that sense of feeling like it's a bot experience.
And then yeah, exactly. If you do it slower. So the other thing is, saying, I don't feel like it comes off genuine. So the idea is if you do a slow campaign and you're only liking a very niche audience or something like that, you would still do that manually. So how would they be able to know whether it's you or a robot or a virtual assistant or an intern? It doesn't really matter because they're not seeing who's clicking like. They're not wondering if you go and spam a bunch of accounts. Yeah, they're gonna know. But if you do it tastefully, there's a right way to do this, and you also have to think of it as a top level part of the funnel. Like you're liking a page that doesn't know about you or someone that doesn't know about you, so then they can look at your page, see your content, maybe click a link or take some sort of action or maybe follow you. So don't look at it as the only thing that's driving your strategy for Instagram growth. It should be just part of the strategy. And if you don't feel like using it and if you want to do it more organically, then that's up to you.
Exactly. Let's see. Whoops, we're scrolling a little bit, and we're gonna get to all of your questions, guys. This just sorry if I messed up your name, buddy, but it was how can I get more followers on a Facebook page? That's just gonna come down to
at this point,
creating Facebook ads that are engaging and essentially creating brand awareness via those ads. So that's a whole that's a whole nother beast. But if you want to reach out to us after, we're welcome to answer that for you. Pedro asked, how would you do a proper cliffhanger sequence? Are there any accounts you suggest to take a look at? Oh,
so this is brand new. I mean, we just did one. So cliffhanger a little bit. No, I mean, this one, that was more just of a carousel ad. Yeah, that example. But for a cliffhanger sequence, all you want to do is provide drips of content, whether maybe it's a piece of a video and then a little snapshot and then another video. And then to finish watching the entire thing, you have a call to action. Go to our website to watch the full video or click the link in bio for. So the cliffhanger is all about, kind of just leading them down the hallway and then they have to turn the knob and walk into the door if they want to see the rest of it. It's locked. That's the idea behind having a cliffhanger sequence. And, by them swiping, you're kind of guiding them along this. So that feature just makes it a little bit more engaging. It's not just watching a video and then swiping, past it. It's like you have to go down that path.
Mike asked the link for the Facebook group. Do you want to?
We'll do that. We'll do that at the end.
Got it. And then Elliot said, what do you think about automated comments and direct messages that contain an open-ended question to get them to click your bio? For example, nice surfboard, man. Do you mind giving me some feedback on my surfing Kickstarter? Then once they come to your profile, there's an additional bio instruction call to action to click the bio link. How risky is that and what is your experience? So that's actually a solid way to engage with individuals without coming off spammy. With Love Travel, we have an automated message that just targets travelers that says, hey, we know you're a big fan of travel. Feel free to check out our feed and content. And we just keep it pretty general. So I don't think there's an issue with that. Now, you do want to have someone monitoring that page because unfortunately, sometimes you'll like or comment on pictures that aren't necessarily in line with what you're providing. So you want to make sure that you have a manager looking at what you're commenting on, looking at what you're engaging on. And in most cases, people will comment back and follow you. So yeah, it's a pretty good call to action, I'd say.
Yeah. So what resources to identify? I think there was one called outreach.io. Don't like quote me on that just yet. I'll get you.
Which one's that, Raheem?
Ileana's asking how do you identify influencers? I know someone else.
Oh, got it.
There are some platforms that do it for you. I know our friend Dan from Diepic. He's has some cool resources. We're going to try and add it to that entire document that we're going to be posting on the Facebook group. So like I said, you're going to have tools for content creation, you're going to have tools for engagement, and you're going to have tools for outreach and research. So we're going to try and provide that to you. It's mostly set up, but we'll add in a couple more now that we see what kind of tools you're looking for.
And Raheem asked, when starting an Insta business from scratch, what do you guys recommend starting with? What's your suggested followers ratio? So you always want to have more followers than you're following. It's just, the name of the game, unfortunately.
At the beginning, it's always tough. I mean, it's going to be
hard. It is going to be hard.
You're going to try and keep it even in some way, like balance it out, follow X amount of people, and then hope that they, follow back after a while. That's what Instagram is good for, that you can follow people and then set it that after a week, if they have not followed back, you can unfollow those people that didn't reciprocate. But it keeps all the other people that did follow back. So it's not like you're just following a bunch of people and then wiping clean to make it seem like, oh, well, I don't follow anyone. You want to do that tastefully, and you can get that using Instagram. And then in terms of posting tools, there's a few more tools. There used to be Schedulegram, like Elliot mentioned, but I use one called Grum. that it just, I saw it. Yeah. No, Grum.co, I think it is. And that's a good one. I know that there's another one called Social Insight that was meant for social analytics, but now they're actually testing out a beta of posting without, any reminders. So I think more and more companies are having the tools available to be able to post directly, and I think Instagram's going to make it more open. They might even do it on their own. They have scheduled posts on Facebook. They're owned by Facebook. They're going to try and cater to marketers because marketers are driving their revenue. Like if we ask for it enough, they gave us the 5 accounts, right? The 5 accounts you can have on Instagram, multiple accounts. I think we're going to get that by end of year, scheduling directly from Instagram. So, but in the meantime, you could definitely use Grum or Schedulegram and a few others.
Elliot, that's a good question. So Elliot asked, what's your legal liability when a client's account with 10K super legit followers gets perma-banned for automation? Call your lawyer, and make them sign a paper prior to protect yourself. So the first thing you want to do is understand Instagram as a tool overall, because with any social media tool, you can overuse it and overextend it. So you always want to make sure you're staying within the parameters that they allow. Now, Instagram will usually give you a few strikes before you get to that point. We've never had any with any of the accounts that we manage. So it takes a lot. You've got to be liking like 17,000 pictures a day to get, blocked on Instagram. So essentially what you want to do is start off slowly, especially with a new Instagram page, and slowly scale your efforts if you're using automation.
For sure.
Does that answer your question, Elliot?
He's typing now. So.
My clients get perma-banned with no warning. Yeah, that happens sometimes. I mean, I've had a friend that got his page banned and he still doesn't know why. He was in a battle with Instagram for about 3 weeks and he finally got it back. So yeah, unfortunately, that's just an issue you might have to deal with. And I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, I've never really dealt because I'm very cautious with the way I would use Instagram. I would never really do something that's just, explosion of likes and comments and doing that, especially if you're going to be on it while it's doing it, because then they're going to see 2 people using the account essentially at the same time. And that's a huge red flag. So schedule it during times when you're not going to be on, or, set aside, a note for you, your client, or anyone who has access to the account saying that, during the, from X time to X time, don't be on it because Instagram is running and we don't want it to cause any red flags. So I think that's one way around it. I mean, I don't know if we don't really know the reasons behind getting perma-banned, like if it was out of nowhere, if there was like any other, reason behind Instagram doing that.
Any more questions, folks?
Yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Like, been pretty.
Oh, Raheem, you're welcome.
Yep.
Where does David get his suits? Where do you get your suits?
I mix it up. I'm actually a bargain shopper, so if I can get a deal, like Express gives me like $75 off $250, I'm gonna get a suit that's gonna be $100-something bucks. So I'm cool with that.
Let's see. Oh, Brenda. So a lot of folks are asking about the Facebook group. How do we want to do? We want to send an email after, or do we want to?
So the Facebook group, I don't know if you can just search it right now on.
Yeah,
it's a closed group, but anyone that pretty much requests will gain access to it. I'm gonna pull it up right now so that we could.
Oh, look at that! Boom. Level Up webinar series. Okay. Here it is. Okay, so I'm gonna share the link with everyone.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. Jessica, you're welcome. Is your beard real?
100% real.
I love it. Brenda, you're welcome for the tips and help. We hope we really provided you guys with value. We're sorry it was pretty quick. We just, we know we have 30 minutes to really crunch in and give you guys as much quality content as possible. We're going to be working on like workshops and stuff to come up soon as well. So stay tuned. Pedro, you're welcome, man. You're welcome. What's your names, boys? Which one's David?
John.
David.
Yeah. David is the beard.
David is the beard. I got a beard too, man. Don't mine's not as long, but I still got something.
He made sure that
the big beard. Oh man, that's great. Raheem. Yes, Raheem, what's up?
Yeah, now he knows. Yes, so The last webinar is available already on the website. We're going to try to do our best once this one's completed and we can actually, add our intro and outros to it and then upload it again. So hopefully by the beginning of next week, we'll have that ready for you guys. And once again, thank you guys. This is awesome.
Yeah, this is great. We appreciate everyone that's attended and took the time out of your busy day. I mean, today is Wednesday?
Yeah.
So we appreciate it, guys. We're going to shut it down and we'll send you. Actually, we sent the Facebook group here, but we'll send you guys an email follow-up as well with everything.
Yeah.
Oh, Carlos asked, quick question. What do you think Instagram lacks?
I mean, I think I think it's just opportunities. If they want to do direct posting, then they could become an all-in-one.
Yes.
You know what I mean? If they do your engagement and then you can post from it and schedule and all this stuff, then they could become really
great.
It's not that what they're lacking, because I think they have one of the most robust. Direct messaging is still tough too. Sometimes you'll go in there and see it says request and it's not even showing up on your feed. Just stay tuned, because a lot of these third-party apps are getting a lot more access to Instagram's API. They're opening it up little by little. Mm-hmm. And the features that are going to be coming up, I would say by end of year, especially them trying to battle back with.
Elliot, I'll be honest. The user interface and the user experience are garbage. It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible. And the tool is, it works okay. It doesn't work the best. And it's very, 1998 Windows in regards to usability. So, it takes a lot of, I guess, experience to use the platform. So I'm not a huge fan of it, but, it's a great way to use to automate the process and have everything in one account. So
yeah,
that's my 2 cents. And for you guys that don't know what Follow Liker is another platform similar to Instagram, but it's not as user friendly.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I think that is it, guys. Thank you again for exactly.
Yeah, totally. I love it.
Thank you guys again for attending. We appreciate it. The next one is going to be April 24th.
No, not the 24th. I think we're battling between either the 26th or the following week. Stay tuned. We're going to make an announcement. If you guys signed up for this one, we'll shoot you an email with the announcement, and you can register for that one if you're able to. If not, you can always catch it, the rerun, once we upload the video.
Yes. All right, guys, we are out of here. Thank you again. Peace.
Take care. See you.